It's your boy and Gunnar in the house, back with another bang on video. Well, yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about something really important in this video. It's going to be Arteta's presser. Francis Kagigao opens up about Thomas Partey, of course. Ex-Arsenal player Denis Suarez opens up about Lucas Torreira and Thomas Partey's irrespective move of to the different clubs. Let's not waste time because we have a really wealth of information for you guys. Will Kieran Tierney play against Manchester City? Everything is discussed already. So Charles Watts tweeted out key points from Arteta's press conference. He is still hopeful of Tierney. He could be available this weekend. Saliba said to stay. Difficult decision to leave Ozil and Socrates out of Europa League squad. Arteta wants massive figure, someone like Arsene Wenger around. Saliba set to say Partey to train for first time today. And there was a great quote from Mikel Arteta on whether he'd want a new contract if one was offered to him. He said, yes, but I have to earn that. That's how beautiful he is. But moving on, and talking about Mesut Ozil, Mikel Arteta said on whether Ozil will be in our Premier League squad or not. He said, he wasn't the only one who was not in the Europa League squad. It is a really difficult decision for me to make because to leave players out of the squad at that level where they know they cannot get involved is really tough. I don't like it at all, but the decision had to be made because we have an excess of foreign players. Unfortunately, we had to make that decision. And it looks like Mesut Ozil will not be in Arsenal's Premier League squad as well. Let's see. Let's wait when it will be announced. But moving on, Arsenal, Leeds United and Wolves are interested in securing Michael Olise's signature in time for transfer deadline day on Friday. It is understood that two of these clubs have had offers in excess of £5 million declined for Michael Olise. So the problem is that it is understood the Royals see him as a key first-team player and are unwilling to part ways with the 18-year-old. It would take a much greater offer to see him leave. Michael Olise from Reading, Arsenal were linked to him a lot of times. We're talking about a player, well, Kieran Tierney, Arsenal and Manchester City is a saga ongoing. So Arsenal have lobbied the Scottish government to release Tierney, submitting photographic evidence that shows he was sitting further away than the socially distancing requirement of 2 meters when playing computer games in a hotel room with Armstrong and Tierney. So yes, they've got some evidences they are using so that Tierney can play against Manchester City on Saturday. Well, moving on, here's official. On November 9th, the government will debate the return of fans to sports stadiums after a petition received 196,000 signatures. So 196,000 signatures has been received. So it looks like government will finally debate on everything. Let's talk about it. Arteta has spoken up about if Thomas Partey will play against Manchester City. He says today he will have his first training session. So everything has to come really quickly for him. We knew that before we signed him that he is fit, he is willing, very willing to start playing, and we will see how he goes in the next few days. And talking about more stuff, well, Arteta admits Ozil could also be removed from the Premier League squad according to their Spurs buzzer, but yes, that's the fact of the matter. Chris Wheatley had a candid conversation with Francis Kagigao, our ex-scout, chief of scout. He spent 24 years at Arsenal, so let's hear from him. He said, I was at the club for 24 years and there were a number of opportunities to go elsewhere, clubs in Spain, England and other countries, but the truth is that it was more about being respected and valued. It wasn't simply about money. I had a good relationship with the club with the manager Arsene Wenger and former chief of scout Steve Rowley, who was absolutely brilliant for the club for many years. At the time, I didn't see myself anywhere else. You know, Kagigao is highly respected across the game and widely credited for identifying the likes of Cesc Fabregas, Robin van Persie, Santi Cazorla and Alexis Sanchez before they moved to Arsenal. He says the club after Arsene went through a transitional period, and I think all transitional periods are difficult. You can look at other clubs to see that those transitional periods are never easy. We went from a traditional manager to a head coach. I do feel in that transition that Unai was unlucky. I think Unai is a very good coach. We got to the Europa League final and finished 1 point of Champions League qualification in the league. It was a very fine margin which sometimes separates perceived success from success. I think the club's gone through that transition period and hopefully the club has been the back of that. Now we know what happens. He said, Tools like Scout and others like it are hugely important. You need to evolve with the times and not stand still, both with modern day technology and obviously data, which are now accustomed to. Data is an integral part of modern society. It's not just football and not just scouting. Data analytics aid in the process of making a final decision as humanly objective as possible. The perfect combination is of live and video scouting via the experienced trained eye with a track record and people with knowledge of the game and player identification and development, plus data analysis and modern day technology. Once we do resume getting back to that normality, we need to kick back into the situations we faced before. And talking about it, how about psychology? Psychology, I'm sorry. Psychology is an integral part of the player ID. So about psychology, Kagigao says, scouting, player identification, and recruitment departments are there to strongly recommend or not recommend players. A player we certainly recommended and ended up signing, who I possibly think was treated a little unfairly, was probably Granit Xhaka. I certainly wasn't in agreement with a lot of press evaluations of his performances in a lot of games. I think he was a little bit unfairly treated. Yes, he made that mistake, the angry reaction to the fans, we all know the finger gate, but who doesn't make mistakes? I think he will come back. He came back from that fantastically well, and his work ethic and commitment to the club can never be doubted. Those mental qualities were attributes that we already saw in him when he was at Mönchengladbach. We spent a lot of time analyzing his performances there, and it was very obvious that mental strength was very evident with him. He was already the captain of that side at 22, so you're talking about a player with mental strength who has had to overcome some negativity to come back to his best level. I'm talking about Thomas Partey. He says it's in the public domain that Partey is a player we recommend very strongly in the past and recent past. He'll bring qualities to the side that are possibly lacking in that position. He'll certainly bring more cover and protection in areas where the team possibly needs it. I would also say that he's a player who has possibly a lot more to offer than what we've already seen of him. He had a little bit of restricted role at this previous club and sometimes played with the handbrake on, to use one of Arsene's expression, and I think he's going to be very, very good addition to what is already an immensely strong squad. So Kaiga believes that Thomas Partey is definitely going to be unleashed at Arsenal. Wenger has spoken about Ozil. He says what happens at the moment between him and the club looks to be more confrontational. It's not based only on sport, I am convinced. So Arsene Wenger believes the whole Mesut Ozil saga is not just about the wages, it's about something else. Obviously, it's just a confrontation with the board. And talking about more stuff, well, Arsenal lacked a player like that, according to Denis Suarez. If you remember him, ex-Arsenal player, he believes that his former teammate Lucas Torreira will be a big hit with Atletico Madrid, and also says Thomas Partey will provide Arsenal the player that they lacked. He says Lucas Torreira is a player with a good technique. He presses and plays strong, so he is an ideal player for Simeone. It's going to be very strange to play against Luis Suarez because he has been my colleague. He has started the season really well, and he has proved that he is a good player who scores a lot of goals. But on Saturday, I hope he does not score and we win the match. So Arsenal lacked a player of Thomas's profile. Thomas, because of his physique, will feel comfortable in England. So when I was young and at Celta, I always thought I would like to play in the top division with Celta. It was always something I had in my mind. I think I've started well this season with no physical problems, which is very important for me after my experiences last year with my hip. So yes, all the best. And now everyone is touting Thomas Partey to actually excel in that role. But talking about more stuff, well, here's a celebration of George Armstrong's life and his contribution to Arsenal Football Club. All day we will be sending pics of Geordie. So you can see here's one of the 1971 FA Cup final just before the extra time started. This is one of the images that was already on Twitter. And Hertha Berlin have said that Matteo Guendouzi has tested positive for the virus. The positive test results came after the midfielder returned from 2 games with France's under-21 team. Before that, everything was cool. So yes, who believes that this international break is a curse? It's actually making players, commit to a lot of touching and a lot of social distancing norms being violated, and it looks like Matteo Guendouzi is I don't know, he's a victim of it. And it looks like Matteo Guendouzi has tested positive, so he's got to be going under quarantine. He's asymptomatic for now, but more importantly, Matteo Guendouzi is suffering from the virus. He shouldn't have been. But anyways, all the best, and I'm pretty much sure that he's going to come back strong out of it. But more importantly, these were the news of the day. I hope you enjoyed whatever came your way, all the views, news, and everything about us on this platform every single day twice. So what you got to do is subscribe and hit that bell icon. I will see you in my next video, and until then, do not forget to subscribe. I will see you in my next video, and don't forget, tomorrow's live is going to be lit. You guys have to create a team of Arsenal versus Manchester City, the lineups, and I will be featuring it in tomorrow's live. So if you haven't created one, go to createformation.com, create one, write your name on it. Do not forget to write your name on it. Please write your name on it, or else it will not be featured in my live. Cheers. I'll see you in the next one.